Plantronics lleva 50 años diseñando dispositivos de audio, garantizando que nuestra voz se escuche claramente. En Plantronics, cada auricular nace de una obsesión con el oído humano y la comodidad. Porque es un hecho que no todos los auriculares son iguales. UC exige la más alta calidad de transmisión de la voz humana, que puede darse solo a través de los auriculares Plantronics. Porque nuestra misión es garantizar la voz de su negocio, para comunicaciones claras y confiables, hoy y en el futuro. Unified Communications de Plantronics. Larga vida a la voz.
So that product was literally designed in 4 locations here in Tijuana. It's kind of a funny dot that should be in Santa Cruz, California. Again, a little funny dot that should be in the UK. It looks kind of like France, as well as in China. But leaving the dots aside, this required global innovation to solve a problem like this. And by the way, this product happens to be the #1 selling product in the market globally. It doesn't happen by accident. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes people really understanding all of the customer needs, and you don't do it in just one location. Nobody is. We look at innovation. We have to deal with all modes of communication. You know, we're doing that internally. We're doing IM, we're doing video. We have very physical products. We need to actually see things sometimes. We need to understand what problems and issues are we having. You know, you don't really kind of get that somebody with a beard on's got a problem with a grill, or that somebody with makeup's got another issue. Different size. You know, we have an incredible database of ears and heads and everything else. But nothing substitutes for live human interaction in a product while we're in development. And you got to have the emotions, because in all honesty, every so often, people don't get it, and we got to be understanding when something's really important, because it's not possible to do something that covers every single need for every single person on the planet, and we got to understand the big ones from the little ones. At the end of the day, this was a product, as I said, that was #1 in the market. It was also hailed broadly. We received a design award for this product. We received performance awards for this product, and it is the #1 selling global product in the market. I want to turn to design for a second. Plantronics earlier in our history was known, I would say, for functional innovation. We made products that were used in mission-critical applications. Air traffic controllers, contact centers, astronauts on the moon. In this particular example, somebody who's using an extreme functional product for ours that's designed for the outdoor. They were not designed always to be beautiful products. But in the current era of unified communications, the business market is becoming consumerized. People are working at home, and they're doing personal things at work, and they expect pleasure in their lives. We have to have that same emotional connection with people. Our design has to be not just intuitive, but it has to bring pleasure to people. People have to feel good. They have to feel happy when they're wearing one of our products. It needs to feel comfortable. It needs to make them feel good about the voice that they're hearing. It needs to make them feel good about how they sound when they're talking. When I go through an airport, or when I go by a bus and I'm using that Voyager Pro and I know people can hear me real well, or I'm in that loud bar in Russia and I know that I can still deliver, it makes me feel good. It gives me confidence, okay? When you use one of our wireless products, you can stand up. You don't have to sit down. You have more energy. You can move around. People get grumpy when they have to sit in place for 4 hours on a conference call. We're giving them the freedom to stand up, to move around, to get more energy. And we have to have products that reflect that. We hired a guy named Darren Caddis, who had actually come out of designing the BMW Z3, which happens to be a sports car, as well as Indian motorcycles and a variety of other things. He brought together a world-class team to our company. And this just happens to be one of the products that came out of this design team. But at the end of the day, this is an integration of form and function. It may not be obvious, but if you look at the design, it has a faint resemblance of a tuning fork, it's reminding people of the acoustics. You can see clearly where the receiver is. You can see the emphasis, the point of the microphone. You can see that it is kind of well designed from a acoustic perspective. It's intuitive, it's natural to put on, it's very lightweight. It's also designed using the face as the palette, because we understand that that's where people are going to use it. So it's an integration of something that is intuitive and natural, that people feel happy that they're wearing. I won't go through all of this, but we try to make it an easy item to store when you're not using, how we keep it clean, how we recharge it, all of those sorts of items. I want to turn for a second to Plantronics in Tijuana. You know, anyone who visits our factory, I think, will come away energized for the experience. Certain organizations just have a pulse, they have an energy, they have a level of innovation that says that they're going to figure out something new. They're excited about what they are doing, and they give off that excitement to everybody who touches them. That is what we have in Plantronics in Tijuana. We have thousands of new ideas that come to our firm. More, in many respects, than we get anywhere else in our organization. New ideas to improve our products, new ideas to reduce our costs, new ideas to improve our processes, new ideas to make the organization a better, more fun place for people to work. There is nothing that says you can't do it anywhere, and indeed, you have to do it everywhere if you're going to succeed. This organization in Tijuana has succeeded for us mightily. There are many things that I love about this organization, but number one is the people, and the people attract and keep other great people with them. And at this point in time, we have tremendous knowledge in this organization, which combined with their motivation and their skills allows us to innovate very, very effectively. I'm going to talk through a few things. These are ears. Of course, as I said before, we do make products that work on people. We have to do a variety of testing. The team here in Tijuana has come up with over 6 patents since we started our engineering team. It's now about a quarter of our global engineering force. You know, when we look at sound, we look at a lot of different dimensions of sound. We statistically look at about 170 dimensions of sound. Just to kind of give you some buckets, we have to look at the safety of sound, because you're dealing with acoustic spikes, you're dealing with acoustic startle, the change in the level. We look at the intelligibility of sound, whether or not you can understand things. We look at the types of sound that are interfering with that, whether it's wind noise sound or whether it's, you know, other types of conversation or babble. We look at the directionality of that sound and how we try to deal with that. We look at the warmth. We look at the tone. We look at how we correct under a VoIP for data packets of sound that are lost. Those are all areas of sound that we look at, that we have to consider as we innovate and come up with great products and great solutions. And at the same time, of course, we have to fit it into ear. And those all have acoustic dimensions as well. Does the product naturally fit in the right place? Does the microphone naturally position to the mouth? What kind of acoustic seal do we have? What kind of stability do we have that keeps it all in the right place? Those are all part and parcels of the issues that are considered here. We have in Plamex 5 anechoic chambers. As I mentioned earlier, we have to test interoperability across global frequency standards, which are different. In different areas across many different UC platforms, different vendor equipment that people are using to make sure that it works. I just want to give you a sense of some of the acoustics work that we do. This is partially done in Plamex, partially done in other locations. Can you play the first and the second from that slide? There we go.
Well, I'm early again. Calling my colleagues who should be joining me for lunch at the local Sizzler. Oh yeah. Since the economy turned sour, the notion of all you can eat has been taken to new heights. And apparently sound. It's got to be 80 decibels in here right now. Oops, gotta go. There's a run on the shrimp.
That's a restaurant without our technology, what you would hear. And then with our technology, if you can do the lower one.
Heads etiquette warning. Yes, I'm talking with a Voyager Pro in a restaurant. But to be clear, I'm using the word restaurant rather loosely. It's got to be over 80 decibels in here. The dual mics with audio IQ and the extended boom are coming in handy right now.
So hopefully you get the difference in that. Now just imagine that you're again on a global conference call and you're trying to collaborate. And all it takes is one guy, okay, who's calling in in a loud environment, because that's where they are, and it ruins the call, it ruins the productivity for everybody because they can't understand, or they get fed up, they get frustrated, people have to repeat things. That's some of the productivity value that we bring. I want to talk for a second about manufacturing innovation. Some of this is in specific quality improvement ideas. Some of this is in specific cost reduction ideas. We've saved about $10 million over the last 3 years from these ideas. Some of this is also in process. Our team here has come up with a process that they call Jacari. It's kind of a blend of just-in-time, of Kanban, of raw and process, for those of you who are knowledgeable about manufacturing. But at the end of the day, it's allowed us to do some remarkable things. It's allowed us to maintain +5 sigma levels of quality while changing the product that we actually produce on the line in 10 to 12 minutes and keeping minimal inventory on the floor. It's a remarkably flexible process that fits what we need as an organization, because we sell thousands of different headsets that meet individual needs, and we need to get them to market in the United States very quickly. People don't always anticipate very far in advance what headset they'll need, and sometimes we get rush orders. It can be for 50,000 headsets, and we need them in a week. I want to talk a little bit about process innovation from another standpoint, which includes the really terrific help that we have had originating from Plamex in our HR procedures, in our design for build that we brought back into our Santa Cruz organization, and I forget the name of it, but in the program they came up with that helps us reduce the number of